How am I going to get the linkages out now? That is the question. So I just come back from the house. Don't tell my wife, but I just stole her ultrasonic cleaner. Maybe I should get out of the shop more. Welcome back, YouTube. We are back in the garage here, and this video is brought to you by you guys. You guys chose, or at least you guys decided on 4 different choices. Well, for the 7 of you that made those choices, whether it was going to be a repair on a chainsaw, an ATV, an outboard motor, or a snowblower. It was actually a tie between the snowblower and chainsaw, but then one person commented that it's Halloween, and I'm going to make this my Halloween special. We're going to work on a chainsaw today. This chainsaw actually has a lot of meaning to me. It's got a special place in my heart because this was my grandfather's saw. My grandfather's no longer with us, but I remember as a kid watching him cut wood, and I obviously helped a lot when we would go camping, and this was always a saw he had. This thing never let him down. I don't exactly remember how long he's been passed away, but I can tell you for sure it's been sitting for a really, really long time. But we're going to get it running, or at least try, in this video. Stick around. First thing I'd like to do, I'd like to check to see if it still has spark, because if it's got spark, that means we have a good chance of perhaps getting this thing running. Obviously, we're going to see a whole bunch of stuff, but you got to start from the top. You got to start with the basics, you know. You need ignition, you need compression, you need fuel. Those are the primary things that a good running engine would ever have. So I could use a spark plug, ground it out against the muffler over here, but for a few extra bucks, guys, it's really worth going to buy a good tester like this. You can get them on Amazon, eBay, wherever you pick one up. They're all pretty well the same. Some of them are really nice though, because you can adjust the gap. I can't adjust the gap on this one, but let's see what we have. Oh, good spark. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but we got really good spark. So, well, we had really good spark. Where did they go? Let's see. I can't see it now. Is it still there? Oh yeah, I can hear it as well. So that's really, really important. So that's a good start. Let's move on to maybe checking some compression and see where it's like. So I've got my gauge here. Hopefully this will screw in. And for those of you who are wondering, I have no idea what the age of this saw is. However, I can tell you that it's a McCulloch. I don't know how to say that properly, guys, but it is a Super 2-10C. And it was actually made in Los Angeles, California. Huh, imagine that. If you guys know the age of this saw, if you know anything about it, maybe comment down below. That would be awesome to know. This predates me, of course. Kind of like Susie. I like older stuff, I guess. Because you can repair older machines. I think personally a little bit easier than newer stuff. So that's probably why I work on this older stuff. We got our gauge connected. I'm gonna try and hold this down because your best compression is done with wide open throttle. This is gonna be awkward. Oh, I got an idea. A little bit of tape. There you go. Wide open. Now let's not forget that when we try and start it though. That'd be horrible. Here we go. Let's do some test. That's about 4 pulls, and hopefully you guys can see that, but we've got just about 125, maybe a little bit more. We got compression. It's looking good. And because I picked up a new tool and I want to use it, let's dive inside the cylinder and borescope it, see what it's all about. And here we go. we're gonna go inside, check this out, see what we have. And so far so good, guys. It's looking pretty darn clean in here, if I do say so myself. So we've got a nice crown on the piston. Everything looks really clean. If we look over at the ports, okay, I won't be able to go all the way around. That's the plug's at the weird angle, so that's what I can see here, but ports are looking okay. I don't see anything odd. That one right there got like a weird casting, but that's not going to affect anything. And if we get back a little bit here and take a look at the sidewalls, okay, so we've got a little bit of scoring on the sidewalls. Well, not necessarily scoring, but scratches, right, from wear and tear. Nothing that would be abnormal for an old saw like this. Otherwise, I think it's going to work just fine. Alright, now that we know the cylinder is in really decent shape, we know that we're probably not going to have to worry too much, but this is what the camera looks like physically. It's just nice and simple, plugged into your phone. I love it. Not sponsored by anybody, by the way. I'm just thinking that if you ever have any extra cash on you and you do a lot of this type of stuff, it can probably save you a whole bunch of money and probably a lot of time too. Okay, moving on now. I'm not even sure where I want to go with this, but it's looking good so far. Maybe we should check to see if this thing still has gas in it and what the... Okay, I'm actually not taking out the gas. This is the air filter. Look at that. It still has an air filter. Okay, it's one of those old school... This reminds me a lot of a home light, actually. So it's a little bit dirty, as you can tell. It's got quite a bit of sawdust, as you would imagine. So we're going to give that a clean. I want to try and clean it without destroying it. And if I remember correctly, any of those old school guys would probably agree with me that you don't want to clean this with any kind of abrasives or even chemicals, something like brake clean or gasoline, because it would just eat up at all these little fibers, because it's the fibers on this little filter that stops the dirt from going on the way in, because as you can tell on this side, it's nice and clean, pretty dirty on this side. So we're going to probably just use maybe a toothbrush, brush it off a little bit at a time. So there's our carburetor. It doesn't smell nasty, to be honest. I mean, usually when you got really bad gas, it reeks. But speaking of gas, this is the gas tank right here. And this is a rarity because you don't see saws that are all made of metal. This is all metal. There is a little bit of gas in there, so that concerns me. So let's dump it into this container so we can have a better look at what color it is. I doubt very much it's flammable. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's coming out like... Ew. It's thick. It's thick. Never seen gasoline so thick before. So you can probably guarantee... look at that. It's almost like a... I don't know. That's really thick. It's almost like an oil. I doubt very much it's been like over mixed with oil and causing it to be that thick. I've never seen that before. But yeah, it doesn't really even have a smell. Let's see if we can reach in here and grab the filter, because I can see it. Take the pickup out. Let me get some pliers. There we go. I think we got it now. Aha. Look at this. It's like some kind of like a sock. I don't know. It's part of the line. So I don't know. You're supposed to take this off and clean it, or like, how is gas going to get through this if it's all saturated like that? Maybe I'm just going to have to squeeze out the gas? I don't know. You guys ever see this type of fuel pickup before in a chainsaw? Like, I can guarantee you I haven't. The oldest thing I've worked on here in the shop is a home light, which is why I was talking about home lights, because that's what I was reminded of. Okay, so it looks like I don't know, almost like a giant cigarette butt, I guess. Look at that. That is cool. It's a big piece of felt, I guess. And it's just squeezed in there. Like simple technology. You can clean this. The hose is actually really good shape still. And I'd prefer not damaging it. Because if we damage this hose, or actually if we damage anything, I'm going to bet it's going to be hard to get parts. In order to try and give it the best possible chance here, what I'm going to do, I hate to do it, I hate wasting gas at the prices we have, but I'm going to put a little bit in the bottom, put the cap back on, and kind of give it a little slosh around here, slusharoo, to see if we can loosen up anything that's in the bottom. I don't see anything. Actually looks pretty darn good in there. I mean, if you look at this here, guys, it doesn't look that bad. I don't see too much sludge. See the pickup filter right there. Yeah, I would say it looks okay. Okay, a little bit of a slosh here. I can only imagine what this looks like if somebody was to be looking through the windows back here. Somebody shaking a chainsaw. All I need to be doing is like some weird sound, you know. Yeah, people would be... Sorry, I don't know. I get bored in here a lot when I'm filming by myself, so... thanks for watching at the very least. I know that there's somebody else out there taking care of me, because Lord knows I can't take care of myself, but... Let's drain this gas and see what it looks like. So we already know what that looks like, and I don't really have anything to dump it in right now. Or do I? Do I have something else to dump it in? Oh yeah, this will work. We got Barbie's pool. Let's dump that into Barbie's pool, and we'll dispose of it properly. Always dispose of it properly, guys. Think of the children up there. And let's see if it changes anything. If it looks any better. Well, it's a little bit more viscous, a little bit more fluid-like. Right? It's a little bit more, yeah, more like gas. Okay, so let's add a little bit. Wouldn't it be cool if it just fires? Because I can guarantee you, with that gas in there, it would have never fired. Whoa, whoa. Every time, every video. It's funny because I just had my buddy Marty over here, and we were talking about me making videos, and he looks forward to me making a mess every video. I'm always making a mess. Man. Anyways. All I'm missing now is like the Freddy Krueger mask, or no wait, not Freddy Krueger. Is it Freddy Krueger? You know, the guy with the hockey mask and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not a horror guy. I don't watch a whole bunch of horror movies. I do it for my wife because she's a horror lover. But anyways, let's give this some choke. Comment down below because it's gonna bug me. Who am I talking about? You know who I'm talking about, right? Mask, chainsaw. It's Halloween. How come I don't know this? Maybe I should get out of the shop more. It's on. Okay. Oh, well, that is never going to fire without putting a spark plug in it. Maybe we should test to see if the spark plug fires too. I'm going to get electrocuted. I can feel it coming. Guaranteed I'm going to get a shock here. Hopefully not. Oh yeah, we got spark. Beautiful spark. I've never seen this type of plug either. A lot of never seens before. A lot of newities. DJ8L. Cute little plug. I like it. Right behind me on the top of my cabinets would be a nice place, I think, to put this saw as a reminder of my good old granddad that I spent a lot of time with. I miss him every day. So I would love to get this running in order to every year maybe fire it up in his honor. This was his saw. He could have went out and bought a new one, but there's no way you can get this out of his hands. So let's see if it fires up. I'm really curious. And if it does, I don't know what to say. I don't expect it will. But if it does, honest to God, guys, like this thing is going to be, yeah, it's got to be one of those like miracles. Because this has to have been sitting for a long time. For sure 5 years. But let's see what happens here. Nothing at all. I'm not surprised. So just for fun, okay, let's see if that does anything. There you go. So it does live. Maybe it'll just continue. And that's it. Well, I guess we're pulling the carb. Alright, so we got a couple of 8mm here. Take these out. Like so. Put those aside. And then hopefully we can remove our carburetor. And okay, so that's not too bad. I haven't torn a gasket yet. Let's keep it that way. Okay, pop that out. I don't want to destroy this because, like I was saying, getting parts for this may be very difficult. I mean, getting parts for anything right now is really difficult. And if you guys want to start a conversation about that, I mean, tell me what you guys have been trying to get a hold of for the last little bit, because I won't lie to you, at work I've been waiting months for parts on certain things. It's astronomical the wait right now. How am I going to get the linkages out now? That is the question. So there's one. It's like some kind of a puzzle. Oh, you know it's getting cold. We can hear the furnace kick on. Okay, maybe we got to take this, remove it from the other linkage. Okay, there we go. That's starting to make its way somewhere. There you go. Cool. Now, I guess it'd be very important to not drop anything down the cylinder, because that would be horrible. So for that very reason, I'm going to put a rag right here, and now we're going to clean this carburetor. And look at that. That gasket is still somewhat intact. Alright, so I just come back from the house. Don't tell my wife, but I just stole her. I'm going to borrow it. I didn't steal it. But this is the ultrasonic cleaner that we use to clean, well, wedding bands and stuff like that. So I'm just going to put it over. Oh no. What is this? Is our tank leaking? Oh no. It's all over the place. Oh, look at that thing drip. I wasn't even gone that long. Where's it coming from? Oh, it's wet all around the clutch. You know what that means, right, guys? Potentially, well, maybe it could be just leaching out of here and dripping down. I hope that's all it is. But something we didn't talk about is, because it's been sitting for so long, what if maybe the crank seals are all gone bad on this? That would really not be good. I don't plan on using this more than, let's say, the once a year to fire it up and play around with it, but I don't plan on cutting anything with it because, well, it's got no brake on it, and I don't really trust myself without a brake on a chainsaw. So, anyways, let's clean this up and get back to getting this carb all cleaned up. Okay, first thing we're going to do is just going to pop the cover here, and I should probably get the tray. There we go. Now we can put all of our parts right in there right away. Hopefully we can pop this off. Maybe a small screwdriver. Aha, that's all it took. Just break it free, just like that. See, there you go. You don't want to disturb any of these, or you don't really want to poke away at any of this, because you don't want to make any holes in these diaphragms, because like I said, they're probably really hard to find. Maybe not, but I would prefer not to have to replace them if I don't have to. Then we're going to take this side apart. And this side has smaller screws, so you can't mess it up. Come on. There we go. This side will be where the needle is, basically the float bowl. Be very, very careful with this. Don't want to tear it. That's my Elmer Fudd impression. But look at all the dirt on this. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but on the top of this diaphragm, there's a huge amount of dirt. Good news though, it's going back up and down, so that means the needle is probably not stuck. But I'm willing to bet that the ports and all the orifices inside are full of junk. Okay, so this is one, it's got one of those needles where it hooks, so that's something that we need to remember to do when we put it back together. So the needle is moving, and I'm going to try not to disturb the height of that, because that's what essentially determines the amount of fuel coming in. So the angle of this little rocker here will determine how long that needle is open for, which determines how long or how much fuel makes its way into this bowl. So again, I try not to bend anything or try not to disturb too much if I don't have to. So I'm going to pull the needle out of here as well. I'm going to take a good look at that. And with a rag, I'm going to just clean the rubber on it, and then we're going to take a quick look. And what you want to make sure is that you don't have a groove worn into that needle. We're actually looking pretty good. So that's all right there. So next thing is going to be the high and low speed jets. So this is our low because it's got an L for the indicator, and then we also have the high over here. We're going to count the turns going in until the bottoms, and then that's what we're going to set the carb at when we're done. So low to start, half, and almost 1. I would say 7/8 because it's just past 3/4. So I'm going to write that down on my whiteboard. That's a long screw, like really long. Wow, never seen that before. How many times have I said that so far? And this is our high, so let's count those. I'm going to try not to mix these up, unless of course they are completely different lengths, which will be easy not to. Yeah, so there you go. So as you can tell, the high speed is shorter than the low speed, so I guess L could also stand for long. And there is our completely bare carburetor. Otherwise, it's just the plates in there, the butterfly for your throttle, and you got your choke plate. I like to keep them open if I can, just to allow all the water to flow through. And then the magic happens. It's actually not really magic. All I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up that ultrasonic cleaner with some very warm water and a bit of dish soap. And I find that works pretty well at cleaning these. Sometimes you're going to do 1 or 2 cycles to get them done. But we're going to revisit this after that carburetor is clean and installed. Alright, so while we wait for that carburetor to do its thing in the ultrasonic cleaner and get all nice and cleaned up, let's stick to that and do a little bit of cleaning on this. So listen to this completely copyright-free music while I clean. And just like that, it's all nice and clean, and the carburetor's back in place. And it went looking from this to what you see here. It's a lot better. It's not perfect, mind you. I could spend a lot more time, but for something that's going to sit on the shelf and only get fired up, like I said, once a year, I'm pretty happy about it. So there's only one thing left to do, guys, and that's to see if that carb cleaning actually did anything. I don't know, because that, as you saw, that gasoline was almost like syrup. So hopefully that ultrasonic cleaner did something, and maybe the carburetor is just completely plugged up now. But let's give this a shot. So we got enough gas in there. I'm gonna go full choke. Something I wanted to mention too earlier, and I didn't, is this button right here. This is actually quite cool, because if you were cutting a bigger log and you found that you needed extra lubrication on the chain to help you out, you just had to push this and it would just open up that oil pump and just paint the log with lots of oil, as compared to what we have today, which is like very, very minimal. In my opinion, it's a little bit too little. I mean, every saw I have that, let's say, has an option of opening up that valve, I go wide open right away, because I noticed that a lot of chains start to burn up. So anyways, that's a completely different topic. Let's get back onto the topic at hand, which is trying to fire up this old beast. So full choke. I don't know if the carburetor adjustments were okay, but we're going to see what happens here. I think if it fires, I'll probably be okay to kind of get it going. But here we go. Let's try this out. Wow. That's a good start. So let's see without choke. Let's see what happens. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. You got this. Come on. Oh, almost there. It runs. I can't believe it. Oh my God. That has been sitting forever, guys. Wow. I remember what this sounded like now. I mean, well, my grandfather was using it, of course, because he never allowed me to use the saw. But, I mean, I was able to hear it when I was at the other end of the log. And wow, that sound reminds me of Prepare, that's for sure. And wow, a lot of memories. So anyways, guys, that's going to be pretty well it for today. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining me for another chainsaw video. I had one done about, I don't know, about a year ago, I guess. And I hope you enjoyed this one as much as you did the other one. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. And you are going to sit right up here.